Okay, it's an interesting camera angle, and I don't think that's a great camera shot just because of the way you've cropped out so much of the character. You'd expect more of the character to be in the shot. And that one is a little crowded on the left side of the frame. I would expect him to be on a third line usually, and I probably would either, have something that crops him significantly. But I wouldn't just cut off one foot like that usually. Let's take a look at Maya. You mentioned your character being scaled wrong, so I'm not sure exactly what you did here, but I can see that somehow you've looks like you moved the character away from his rig. Um, so rather than trying to fix that, what I'm going to do is go to the reference editor and right mouse click reference, remove reference, and just do it again properly. So, and now file, create reference, and bring that back in. And then when you scale it, make sure you're using the the main control, and then you can scale it, and everything scales together. But just make sure you use that main control to scale it. And as far as the environment, I think it looks all right. Um, it's kind of repetitive, and I'm not sure. I guess those are just leaves with transparency on it. Um, it just, I don't know. To me, they look kind of weird, like out of place, just growing like lush leaves growing like that on the wall. Um, and then these rocks, I guess that's pieces of broken ceiling. I think what you might want to think about is what like different layers of what might be in here. Like maybe there would be some either rebar or I-beam supports sticking out, and rather than these enormously sharp big pieces, like smaller jagged chunks broken off. Um, but yeah, just this. See, I think if there was growth on the wall, it would be ivy. Normally, ivy starts somewhere that it's rooted in the soil and kind of grows up. So it's connected to the ground. Generally, leaves just don't spontaneously generate themselves on a wall, especially if there's nothing like any kind of rock or dirt to kind of plant themselves in. I mean, if this wall was severely busted open and some dirt had settled into a spot and you could kind of see, where it was broken open, then I could kind of see maybe a seed had fallen in there and started growing. But typically, if there's greenery on a wall, it's ivy that grows up from the ground, or there's something in a broken area wall. But it just these weird kind of growths look strange. I mean, they look odd. So um, you might want to think of sources of light in the scene as well. And the rocks, I guess they have a texture on them. They look extremely geometric again, much like, and maybe that's the style you're going for. Um, uh, but yeah, if you wanted them to look a little bit more like rocks, that would make them more jagged and uneven, and have more of a noticeable difference in texture because it's extremely subtle. Although it's good that at least it's not a solid black. And then I would also say, work on your texture to, add. If this is a damaged area, I would expect to see, areas that are dirtier, painting some dirt areas on your texture areas. Maybe if the ceiling's been busted open, maybe you see where water has dripped down and stained the wall. Or if you are going to have greenery going on the wall, maybe some dirt has dripped below there and kind of painting some streaks going down and collecting dirt and maybe other pieces of debris in the corners and that kind of thing. Because essentially it looks shiny brand new, except for this giant broken thing and the greenery. So that's kind of odd. I'd expect it to be, since it's busted open like that, I expect it to be more aged and dirty. And either way, some aging and dirt would help bring it to life a little bit. Oh, and you mentioned something about a camera. I guess you're referring to one of these cameras. But yeah, I mean, if you don't, I'm just going to unlock it. If you don't like the camera, the just go view default view, and then you should be able to adjust it normally. Um,